gentlemen, we are back with another budget help episode. I believe this is the third one. For anybody who's new here, this is a segment on my channel where my viewers or followers or whoever leave their information in a Google sheet below, and I help them with their budget with any suggestions or like layout they want or need depending on what they have submitted. I don't ask for any personal information, no IDs, no names, nothing, just pure numbers and pure dates. So today we have received another submission. This is from a person, I don't know whether it's a guy or a girl, I'm just gonna call them they, and let's go through the submission and we'll go through the numbers and we'll see if we can help this person sort out their budget. So there is just information about when they get paid, what bills they have, and then they have savings goals, no debt, and they have some questions about some dance classes, gym, and other sinking funds they want to start in the future, and can they do it with their budget? Okay, so everything is clear. So let's start. I have 4 months laid out. We have July, August, September, and October, each in their own colored month. And also we have 4 paycheck bill trackers, so we're gonna go through those. First, we're gonna write down all of the expenses in the corresponding colors. We're gonna go through which expense is covered by which paycheck, and then we can look at the layout for the bill tracker for all of the amount. Okay, so this person says, I get paid 1,450 euro each 8th of the month. So on the 8th of July, there will be a paycheck of 1,450 euros. So this paycheck we're gonna color in red, because this is gonna be the one that all colors that are underlined with this red are gonna be covered by the July paycheck. Next, rent and utilities are 325 euros until 10th of every month. So rent plus utilities is 325. This will be covered by the paycheck in July because this expense comes after the paycheck comes in. I pay phone and internet subscriptions on the 5th of every month, 58 euros. So phone plus internet is 58 euros. As this payment comes out before the paycheck in July, this will be covered by June's paycheck. So we assume that this person has money set aside for this, but for the 5th of August, we have another phone and internet subscription for 58 euros. As this comes before the August paycheck, this will need to be covered with the previous paycheck, which is July's. That's why I'm underlining it with red. iCloud comes out every 1st of the month for 1 euro. So once again, iCloud here is 1 euro. That will be covered by June, as this comes before July's paycheck. And then 1st of August, we will also have iCloud for 1 euro, but this will be covered with the red paycheck. Also, Apple Music comes on the 1st for 750. So Apple Music, 750. Once again, also on the 1st of August, 750. Perfect. So this one will be covered with June's paycheck, and this one is covered with July's. I invest 30 euro each 30th of the month. So 30th of the month, invest 30 euros. This will be with July's paycheck. Spend on transport subscription 30 euros. It doesn't say which date, but let's assume that it's gonna be on the 15th. So transport, that's 30 euros. That's gonna be with red. Miscellaneous spending is 105 euros. Also doesn't say which date, but let's assume that comes here after the paycheck. So miscellaneous spending, 105. And then we have food is around 350 to 400. I always expect the worst, aka for expenses, I always take the highest interval. So you're always technically prepared for the worst case scenario. And let's do food on 8th, as it will probably come out. So 400 euros for food. We need to have this money ready to cover the rest of the month. And now let's do, so everything here, food is, let me check if everything is colored. So here, transport, 11th, 10th. Okay, and also rent and utilities on the 10th of August. Okay, that will already be covered with a different paycheck. Sorry, I messed up. But now I think everything is covered for July. So let's go to July's paycheck layout and we can see what it actually looks like all written down. So the paycheck in July comes on the 8th, which we have noted here. And this is going to be 1,450 euros. That's what we're going to work with. So for everything that we need to pay, first is food. We're going to go by date. So food is going to be 400 euros on the 8th of the month. Then we're going to have rent and utilities. That's going to be on the 10th of the month with 325. Then miscellaneous is going to be on the 11th of the month. That's going to be 105. Transport is on the 15th of the month. And that's going to be 30. And then we have investing on the 30th of the month. That's going to be 30 euros. 1st of August, it comes at iCloud, Apple Music. So even though it's in August, it will be covered by the July paycheck because it's in red. So 1 and 750. And then on the 5th of the month, we have phone plus internet. Even though it's in August, once again, it's going to be covered by July's paycheck. That's 58 euros. So if everything looks good, we have another paycheck in August. So this is all that needs to be covered with the paycheck in July. So if we go through all of the numbers and we actually count how much that is, we have, let me actually recalculate that just so I don't write down the incorrect number. We have, what? How am I getting different numbers each time? Okay, 400 plus 325 plus 105 plus 30 plus 30 plus 1 plus 750 plus 58 is 956 euros 50 cents, and 1,450 minus 956.50 cents, we have 493 euros and 50 cents left. But that's of course not everything that this person has written. This is only what we are covering with the paycheck, like mandatorily for their spending. Then I'm gonna go and look what this person has said. They don't have any debt, as I mentioned. Do you have any sinking funds? How much do you have in each of them? They have said no, but they have 4,000 in savings. So I'm gonna make a row here. They have 4,000 in savings. And they have savings goals. So they have a trip in July. They want to save 300 euros for. They have a trip in August that says 1,300 euros they want to save. And then they have dental work with no end goal of 2,500 is what they want to do. And they also have mentioned they want to start 1,000 emergency fund. They want to start gym for 60 euros each month, dancing classes for around 80 euros each month, around 500 to 1,000 euros in clothing sinking fund. And they have asked, can they do it? Can they manage it with their current budget? So let's do clothing and let's write 500 euros for now for the sinking fund. So, okay, this is the layout. So if we see, we go and focus on the goals that we definitely know we need. So it's all of this is like, imagine what they would want to start, and this is all that's definitely happening. So the trip in July, the August, and the dental work definitely needs to happen. So we see that we still have leftover money of 409 493 euros and 50 cents. So we see that the trip in July is happening in July. So I would cover with this remaining money the entirety of the July trip. So we know that this is covered and we don't need to worry about it. The dental work does not have any end date. So we know that August trip is coming up maybe faster potentially, and they still do have savings for dental work in case it comes up, but I would, the remaining money of this 493 after taking this July trip, I would move it towards August trip, because we know if we follow this entire budget, next month in August we will only have 493 euros left, because the July trip will be gone, and then August trip will only get this amount of money, which means that in August we will not have enough for the trip itself, so we will still need to dip in savings. So I would put all of this towards that to not have to dip into savings as much. So if we do this, we don't have any more money to work with for July, but let's go and see what August's budget looks like without this July's trip expense. So let's go back here. Okay, and now we know that on the 8th of August, they will receive a paycheck again of 1,450 euros. So that is in green, this paycheck. So we know that on the 8th also food will come out for 400 euros, which will be covered with the green paycheck. We know that on the 10th rent and utilities will come out, that we will cover with 325 from the paycheck. Then on, where's August? Here. August is here. So on the 11th of August, we know, let me see if all fits. Yes, on the 11th of August, miscellaneous will come out with 105. And then on the 15th, we will have transport for 30 euros. On the 30th of the month, we will have invest for 30 euros. And on the 1st of September, we will have iCloud and Apple Music. So all of this will be covered by August's paycheck. And then on the 5th of September, phone plus internet will come out with 58 euros for August. So we know that then on the 8th they will receive another paycheck. So all of these with green are what we need to cover in August. So we go to August, the bill tracker. So we know that on the 8th we will receive once again a paycheck of 1,450 euros. So food, we will spend 400. Then we will spend rent and utilities 325. Then we will spend 105 in miscellaneous. We will spend 30 in transport, 30 in invest. iCloud will be 1, Apple Music will be 750, and then phone and internet will be 58. So all of this once again is the same as in July, so that's going to be 956 euros and 50 cents. However, we do know that we have the August trip that we still haven't fully saved for. We only added 193 euros and 50 cents for this in the previous month, but they said they need 1,300 for the entirety of the trip. Minus what we have added, we would still need 1,106 euros and 50 cents. We know that we do not have enough, so I would add the money that they have in savings here, and we can see that we need, so we would have left after all of this 493 euros and 50 cents. and we would put all of those into August. And now August, together with this amount, plus previous month's amount, which we added 193.50. August trip has 687, but we need 1,300. So 1,300 minus 687, we would need 613 euros added from savings to cover the entirety of the August trip. So I would then put this as the new total of 2,063 euros, and then what we would have left is 1,106 euros and 50 cents. And then August trip would be fully funded. Once again, 1,300 minus what we added in the previous month, we would need 1,006 euros and 50 cents, which means that we have used all of the money that we had available, leaving us with zero rollover for next month. However, we know that we have covered both of the trips, and now we only have sinking funds to save for without a specific date. And their question is whether they can start gym and dancing classes and start different sinking funds. So after August, technically, I see that there is possibility to start if we, for example, take the dental expense of 2,500 and we cover it with everything that they have in the savings. They said they have 4,000 in savings. If we subtract the 613 we took to cover the August trip, they have still 3,387 euros in savings. If we take away the 2,500 they would need to cover the dental, they still have 887 in savings, which then I would add the remaining 113 euros to create it as a 1,000, and I would put that aside as the emergency fund. That's what I would do, and let's put that all on paper starting from September, because we know that this is July and August done. So let's go to September and once again go through the numbers that we have. So on the 8th of September they will receive a paycheck, 1,450. They will spend on food 400. So let me grab the pink marker. So the paycheck comes on the 8th, they will cover for food. On the 10th, rent and utilities come out for 325. Then on the 11th, miscellaneous comes out with 105. Then on the 15th, transport comes out with 30. Then on 30th, let's flip to next month's overview. On 30th, investing comes out with 30 euros. On the first, we have iCloud with 1 and Apple Music with 750. These again covered by the September paycheck. And then on the 5th, we have phone plus internet for 58. That is covered by this. So that is September in an overview. So let's flip to September's budget. Okay, so let's start. We know that this paycheck will be, once again, 1,450, but this time I will also add the amount that they have in savings. So once again, they had 4,000 in savings. We subtract the 613 we needed to cover the August trip. They have 3,387 in savings. So in total, that is 4,837 euros. So once again, food will come out on the 8th of the month with 400 euros. Rent and utilities will come out on the 10th for 325. On the 11th, miscellaneous will come out with 105. On the 15th, transport will come out with 30. Then on the 30th, we will invest 30 euros. Then iCloud and Apple Music come out on the 1st of October with 1 and 750. And then on the 5th, we have phone plus internet. That is on the 5th of October with 58. So now, once again, the total of this we calculated was 956 euros and 50 cents. So now, if we subtract all of the bills from 4,837 minus 956.50, we have 3,880 euros and 50 cents left. So bringing that here, we can now go through the list of the things that this person mentioned they would want to have. And first, we have covered July and August trips. So all we have left is dental. So we're writing that down and we're covering the entirety of that with 2,500. And now 3,880, 50 cents. 380, 50 cents minus 2,500 is 1,380 and 50 cents. So that means we would cover September. Where's my pink marker? We would cover this in September. And then they said they want an emergency fund. So I would then put the rest of this, not the rest of it, a part of this in emergency fund is 1,000, and we would cover this imaginary sinking fund they would wish to have. So minus 1,000, we would still have 380 euros and 50 cents left. So if we do that, they said that they want to start gym and dance class. Technically, if we do gym, that's 60 euros, dance class is 80 euros. So, and then they want to start a clothing sinking fund and have around 500 in there. So 3,880, 50 cents minus 2,500 in dental, minus the 1,000 in emergency fund, minus 60, minus 80 is, we still have 240 euros and 50 cents that we can put in clothing. And then we would have spent the entirety of this, but we would have covered this and this. But now for October, that we have included gym and dance class as potentially in their budget, the layout would look different and the remaining amounts after all bills will also look different. So now let's flip to October and let's see what happens once we have covered all of the expenses they wanted, have covered the emergency fund, and also included gym and dance class in the budget. So let's do that. Okay, and now we know that on the 8th of October, they will receive a paycheck of, once again, 1,450 euros. This will be for October. On this day, they will also have food for 400. Of course, this might be split over as an expense over the whole month, but it's better to set that money aside on the first day, basically, so you know that you have that. Then on the 10th, rent and utilities come out with 325. Miscellaneous will come out on the 11th for 105. All of these with the October's paycheck. On the 15th, transport will come out with 30. On the 30th, invest will come out with 30. Then on the 1st of November, I will put it here, iCloud for €1 and Apple Music for $7.50 will come out. And then I don't have the 5th of November here, but I will just write it on the 2nd that phone and internet will come out for 58, but we will assume that's on the 5th. And also we have now included gym and dance classes. We don't have a set date, but let's pick, let's say the 20th. to include also gym for 60 euros and dance class for 80 euros, because we now know that we can afford it with our paycheck. So we have to include it in the budget. So now let's flip to October and go through these amounts. So we will receive a paycheck of 1,450 euros in October. We cover food once again with 400. We cover rent and utilities with 325, miscellaneous 105, transport 30, invest 30, iCloud 1, Apple Music 750, phone and internet 58. But now we have also included gym with 60 and dance class with 80. So now our new total will be, let's see, 400 plus 325 plus 105 plus 60 plus 850 plus 58 plus 60 for gym plus 80 for dance class. So we have as a new total 1,096 euros and 50 cents. So now 1,450 minus all of our expenses, we still have 353 euros and 50 cents left. So this person did mention that they still want to have the clothing sinking fund. So in the previous month, in in September, we put aside 240 euros and 50 cents. So if we take their goal of 500 minus what we have, we should still put aside for clothing sinking fund, 259 euros and 50 cents. So 353 euros 50 cents minus 259.50, we would still have 94 euros to work with. So these 94 now, starting from October, can be technically put in anywhere they want. I would set aside, because they did say a clothing sinking fund of 500 to 1,000. They can put this money in clothing sinking fund if they want it bigger. As we previously saw, they have some dental work or travel. Usually, maybe it's a corresponding thing, I don't know, but they do now have 1,000 euros also set aside in their emergency fund. So technically, starting from October, you have rollover money that can either be put more aside into the emergency sinking fund, which can be later used as whatever for health, for travel, or whatever. You can set it aside for the clothing sinking fund to reach the 1,000 mark that they wanted. They can also set aside as a separate travel or health fund and split it, for example, 50 in the travel and health in a different one as a sinking fund. So this can be whatever, or they can just create a spending sinking fund where this will accumulate and will cover any overspending in any other category. So technically, starting if everything goes according to plan, starting in October, they have rollover money they can use as they want. We don't know about their housing, we don't know about their car situation, we don't know anything other than what has been given. So based on that information, I would evaluate that maybe travel and health are the main priorities, or just have the big emergency sinking fund savings and just add to that so you have more than 1,000, because technically 1,000 is not that much. It's a good starting point, but I would at least have 1 month worth of income. For this person, it's 1,450, or at least have enough to cover all of your bases. So yeah, that is the budget help that I could give today for this viewer. I hope you're watching. If you are, thank you for your submission. If you want to submit your budget for any future episodes, I'm leaving the link to the Google Forms down below. Once again, I don't ask for any personal information, just pure numbers, pure dates, as you saw here. Yeah, I haven't had a viewer yet with debt, a submission with debt, so that would be nice to see how the debt works. But yeah, that was all I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. We have fun over here. I'll be back very soon with more videos. But in the meanwhile, I wish you a very wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.